Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, December 1, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you utilize the progress bar on the YouTube video to skip through to the points that you want to see the most. And you can utilize the timestamps in the comment section as well as the video description as well to do the same. Nobody is forcing you guys to sit through the entire video. Skip through to the points that you want to see the most in order to save time. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the has been like in your year recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so just as we stated yesterday, in terms of the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, the one that was shown yesterday at 6:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time was the actual last one for the entire year. That's if the Hurricane Center doesn't see something that could develop maybe in December later on down the road. They're not going to be updating every day anymore until June, or I believe it's May 15, 2025. Yeah, that's the date that they usually begin with the Eastern Pacific, and they also do the same for the Atlantic. So it will always remain 6:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, November 30, 2024, all the way through to next year. But that won't stop us from taking a look at what the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models are showing. As usual, we're going to be looking at the Euro model first, and we're going to be focusing our attention right here at the top. We're going to go out to the next 168 hours, that's the next 7 days. And we're going to be focusing our attention on the Caribbean, including Jamaica right here, as well as the rainfall on the key on the right. The greens represents up to 1 inch of rainfall, all the way up to 5 inches of rainfall in the dark green, all the way up to the reds, that's the 12 inches of rainfall. So let us see exactly what's going to be happening during the next 7 days. So as we head into Monday, we see that there's going to be some moisture to the west of us, to the south of us, associated with that frontal system and the trough that is going to be inducing across the Greater Antilles. We see some moisture. Some moisture is definitely going to be affecting sections of Jamaica, especially northern Jamaica for sure, especially with that moist northeasterly flow. As we head into Tuesday, not much different. Some rainfall for sure, reaching all the way from the northeastern section of the North Atlantic, all the way down into eastern Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, all the way down into the southwestern portion of the Caribbean. We're talking about Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, getting in on some of the rainfall for sure. And even as we go through the week, we see that there's going to be a lot of moisture plaguing portions of the island for sure, especially the northeastern part. And we're going to be stopping right there at the next 168 hours. So this is valid for 12Z at 7 a.m. on Sunday, December 8th. We can see that the rainfall is definitely clearing up, but we still have some rainfall lingering, especially across the northeastern portion of the island. Some rainfall into portion of Central America, some rainfall to the south of Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Let us see what the GFS model is showing for the same time period. Excuse me. So as we head into Monday, 12Z on Monday, December 2, we can see the greens represent rainfall, especially to the northeast of the island. Rainfall into portion of Central America still to come. Let's continue as we head into Tuesday. Still have some amount of rainfall experiencing across Jamaica, Central America, Eastern Cuba, the Southern Bahamas, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall for sure. Even as we head throughout the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're still going to be getting on that moist northeastern flow with an abundance of rainfall, especially for northeastern parishes. And we see that by Sunday, December 8th, we have some differences. The Euro was showing some rainfall across northeastern Jamaica. GFS not so much, but we do see that rainfall that we saw in the Euro for a section of Central America and the waters to the south of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Either way, in terms of the accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, we see that there's a consensus, and it's been showing for the past 5 days actually, and there's going to be a lot of rainfall in store for southern Belize, northeastern Guatemala, coastal areas of Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, all the way down into Colombia, stretching all the way up into the Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos, southern Bahamas, eastern Cuba, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands. And we're talking about those reds that represent 1 inch of rainfall, into the dark reds 2 inches of rainfall, the purples 3 inches of rainfall, the pinks 4 inches of rainfall, into the salmon colors 6 to 7 inches of rainfall, that's the peach colors, all the way up into the light shades of blues, especially for coastal areas of Honduras right there, into portions of Costa Rica too. And we see the brunt of the rainfall should be affecting northeastern Jamaica with the purples and the pinks. You're talking about 3 all the way up to maybe 4, maybe 5 inches of rainfall. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this rainfall forecast for sure. I know that when they're both in agreement like this, the chances are higher for it to actually happen. And if we take a closer look at Jamaica, we highlighted a similar map like this on our social media platforms throughout the day today. As a matter of fact, we've been highlighting this image for the past week. And we can see the greens into the yellows, the oranges, the pinks, the reds, the purples. Lots of rainfall, definitely going to be lashing northeastern parishes. We're talking about Portland, St. Mary's, St. Anne, spilling into maybe section of Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas. Lots of rainfall to come, and this is showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Sunday, December 8th on the Euro. GFS is showing something similar. Remember, the GFS was a bit reserved, showing more reds than anything else for Portland. Now it's starting to cape to what the Euro was showing with all of the purples. That represents all the way up to 238 millimeters of rainfall. This is now showing 181 millimeters of rainfall in the purples. For Portland right there, they're definitely going to be getting it for sure. Northeastern Jamaica is going to be getting a lashing over the next 7 days, and it has already begun today for sure. They got it today. Lots of heavy rainfall, and some of that rainfall definitely spilled into sections of Kingston and St. Andrew as well. And all of this is due to the fact that they're going to be getting on that moist northeasterly flow. This channel right here between Haiti and Cuba, that's what we call the windward passage, and we can see the winds and wind.com coming in from the northeast as of right now. But as we head throughout the week, the northeasterly winds will continue. As a matter of fact, they will even be intensifying with some stronger winds in the greens and the yellows. Representing we're up to 15, maybe all the way up to 25 knots for sure. Some strong northeasterly winds, and that is going to be setting the stage for a lot of relief rainfall. And what is relief rainfall? This is basically when the mild moist air comes in from the sea and is forced to rise as it arrives at some of the hills, and we know how hilly St. Mary and Portland are. It states here, as it rises, temperature drops and the moisture in the air condenses to produce clouds and rain. As the rain crosses over the hills and starts to descend, the condensation stops and the rain stops. We call the drier side of the hills the rain shadow. So this is the map that we're talking about right here. Let me zoom in some more so that you all understand and have a better picture of what's going to be happening. So let us say that we're right here at the hilly interior section of the island. We're right there across northern St. Catherine, southern St. Mary right there, and we're looking to the east. We're looking east, so Blue Mountain would be right here, so don't mind the whites that represent the snow on the top of the mountain. This is just an illustration. So more than likely, if blue mountains, or if the blue mountains are to our east, that means on the left side of the blue mountain we would have Portland and St. Mary, but on the right side of the blue mountain we would have Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas as well. So this is what we're talking about. We're going to be having the prevailing winds from the northeast coming into St. Thomas and coming into St. Mary and Portland. All of that rising evaporation taking place from the warm Caribbean Sea, and then we have clouds forming, all of that rising, and then we have a lot of condensation and a lot of rainfall, especially into the hilly and mountainous regions of St. Mary and Portland. They're going to be getting it for sure. Not saying that some of it can spill into section of northern St. Thomas, northern St. Andrew, but it's usually the case during the afternoon hours, especially during the afternoons. That's where the south coast usually gets in on most of the rainfall, but we usually see more of a rain shadow on the south side of the island, while the northeastern portion of the island gets the brunt of the rainfall. This is why the rainfall forecast maps are showing so much rainfall for Portland, St. Mary, and even sections of St. Anne. So don't even be surprised if you're on the southern side of the island and you're hearing from your friends or relatives who live in Portland that it's washing away up there, and your area in St. Thomas or Kingston is dry. Relief rainfall, they're used to it, especially during the drier months. We're talking about December through to March, when we have a lot of frontal systems coming down and more northeasterly trade winds. This is what is usually expected this time of year. Sometimes we even have droughts on the southern side of the island, especially as we head into February. We'll see the fire trucks going all the way around the place and trying to out these bushfires, you name it. Alright, so if we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a ridge of high pressure right here to the north that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can see the frontal system right here, represented by the blue spike line. This is what's going to be causing that northeasterly flow, and we see that it has induced a trough into portion of the western Caribbean. We see the broken orange lines. A trough is there, another trough is affecting the Bahamas, and another trough is right there off to the east coast of Florida. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of the entities. We can make out the flow of the low level winds and the low level clouds pushing from east to west across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can make out the clouds associated with that frontal system stretching all the way down into portions of the western Caribbean with the trough that is as induced right there. And we see that there's a lot of clouds associated with this trough. As a matter of fact, this was the trough that was plaguing Jamaica with a lot of rainfall for the past week. But we can see that most of the moisture associated with the trough is now definitely lashing portions of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama, and this should definitely continue. We can also make out the clouds associated with the other troughs right here to the east of Florida, affecting portions of the Bahamas. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean today later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, December 1, 2024. It was stated that parts of eastern, southern, and western parishes will have received some afternoon rainfall on Sunday. And we highlighted that the northeasterly flow could cause some rainfall, especially during the morning hours for a section of some northern parishes. We've been saying that, and that was exactly what took place. Even though it wasn't being forecasted by the Euro or the GFS models, we definitely got in on that rainfall for northern parishes. And we know northern parishes we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. Southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. Eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as 7:01 a.m., the visible satellite image was posted right here on our Twitter page. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page or Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page or weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page or Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page or Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as you may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we can definitely see that at around 7:01 a.m., the visible satellite image that was posted highlighted some clouds, bringing some overcast skies and some isolated showers to sections of St. Anne, St. Mary, section of Portland, the northern parishes, all courtesy of that moist northeasterly flow that has already begun. And this should continue throughout the week. So if you live or work in Portland, St. Mary, or St. Anne, get ready for a very wet week. Bring those rain gears, umbrella, raincoat, water boots, you name it. If you have friends or relatives who live or work in those areas, let them know that a lot of rainfall is definitely coming their way. If we take a look at the satellite image that was posted at around 2:36 p.m., we can definitely see that we were starting to get into some of the action across sections of some southern parishes. We're talking about section of St. Elizabeth, sections of St. Catherine, and some of it even spilled into section of northern St. Andrew, even making it as far south as Kingston as well, while sections of St. Mary and St. Anne were still getting a lashing with some heavy thunder showers for sure. And boy, the rainfall has already begun up there. They're getting it, and they're going to continue to get it all week. And if we take a look at this post that was made highlighting the rainfall in Barbican from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, we can definitely see that they were getting some light to moderate rainfall, even some slightly heavy rainfall at times. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams for you guys to view for free. And this was posted at around 2:44 p.m. They were definitely getting on the rainfall for sure. Then finally at around 4:15 p.m., the infrared satellite image was posted highlighting the cumulonimbus clouds as represented by the high cold cloud tops. We're talking about the blues, the greens, the yellows, oranges, reds. And we can see the high cold cloud tops being sheared off towards the east-northeast, all courtesy of that upper level wind shear. But we can make out the sparkling white dots that indicate the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, that definitely was taking place across sections of St. Elizabeth and Manchester. They definitely got in some thunderstorm activity, while section of eastern Portland were still getting in on some of the rainfall for sure. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can make out what took place. We can definitely see that moist low-level flow, and then when those clouds became cumulonimbus clouds, the high cold cloud tops were being sheared off towards the east, northeast. Saw some thunderstorms to the south of St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Catherine right there as well. If we take a look at the infrared satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see the thunderstorms that were lashing portions of Portland. Some of the thunderstorms spilling into sections of Kingston, St. Andrew, sections of St. Catherine got in on some of the action. We saw a little burst of convection there. And we saw the burst of thunderstorms across sections of St. Elizabeth and Manchester. Even right there across southern St. Elizabeth and Manchester, we're still getting on the thunderstorm activity. And if we take a look here at See Jamaica's YouTube channel, this is showing halfway through at around 3:11 p.m. and we saw the moderate rainfall that was starting to take shape for sure. Not seeing a lot of people, but we can definitely see people in their vehicles right there. Windshield wipers definitely on. The hills of northern St. Andrew definitely getting a soaking for sure today. Yeah, man, we can definitely see some people right here with their umbrellas. Just to confirm that we definitely got some of the rainfall spilling into section of some southern parishes. So that northeasterly flow definitely brought that rainfall into section of southern Jamaica. So the eastern, southern, and western parishes prediction definitely came to fruition during the afternoon. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall today, especially across southern parishes, southwestern parishes with the thunderstorms that lashed sections of St. Elizabeth and Manchester. We also had some of it spilling into sections of southern Clarendon, sections of St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, section of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne for sure. Not so sure about the St. Thomas part. I live in St. Thomas. Didn't see much rainfall here at all. So just to show that this map isn't 100% accurate, but it does paint quite a picture of where we had the rainfall today, as well as some of the actual amount that we actually got. If we take a look at the comments that came in, we have Carl's tweet stating rain currently in Arcadia, wherever that is. What parish? I wonder what parish that is. Anybody knows? Let me know. We also have on our Instagram page, we have Panton Javon setting Spanish sound cloudy. Official _ Jenny, a lot of thunder in Stony Hill. Keisha Lay 86. It's raining in Kingston. We also have God's _ favorite _ daughter 46. Overcast and thunder. Light dew in Kingston, cool and nice too. And we also have Anto _ Netty _ 89. It's raining here in my area of St. Andrew. While Kemar 8631 stating little rainfall, a central village over the St. Catherine side. So that indeed confirms the rainfall that we got today. And if we reload these images, that we have the very latest infrared satellite image of Jamaica. The latest image just came out at 23:25 UTC. So this just came out at 6:25 p.m. considering that it's 6:39 p.m. right now. We can see that we still have some clouds right here across sections of Portland, St. Mary. We can make out some clouds across section of St. Andrew, St. Catherine, section of southern Clarendon, southern Manchester, and southern St. Elizabeth. You can even make out some thunderstorms, some sparkling white that's right there to the south of southern St. Elizabeth. Let us see if we can match all of what we're seeing to the latest Cuban Doppler radar image. Let us see if we are actually having rainfall underneath all of that. Alright, looks like Cuban Doppler is glitching out because it seems to still be showing the 540 Doppler radar image, and it's more than an hour since then. Now it's 6:40. Unfortunately, it's definitely glitching out. But we can definitely make out the rainfall that was definitely affecting portions of Portland. We see the greens. And we can make out the rainfall that was affecting portions of southern St. Elizabeth and Manchester. We see the greens, we see the yellows. We know the greens represent moderado, that's moderate rainfall. We know the yellows represent fuerte, that's stronger, heavy rainfall. So I guess it kind of confirms what we're seeing on the satellite image from 1 hour ago. If we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar imagery, let us reload these so that we have the very latest. We can make out some of that rainfall coming into Portland as well. We see the greens into the yellows. Some moderate to heavy rainfall for sure. We can also make out some rainfall across the western peninsula of Haiti, as well as some isolated hit or miss showers across eastern Cuba. If we reload the images and take a look at what's happening on the Cayman radar, we can make out some rainfall right there to the southwest of Grand Cayman. Don't see much happening across the other islands right here, but definitely a lot of rainfall to the southwest of the main island there. And if we take a look at the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing Barbican, definitely drying out now, because remember we saw the rainfall this afternoon, so the road will still be wet, but they're definitely getting in on a clearing as we speak. But who knows, maybe some rainfall from Portland might spill into that area again tonight, if not tomorrow morning. But as of right now, things seem to be fair. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can still have 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Monday. When calculated, that's 1 p.m. on Monday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight yellows. I know the slight yellows represent what we see on the key on the right. That's 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of December. So we're in December right now. Alright, so it states there that the normal temperatures for December are around 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And when 87 degrees Fahrenheit is converted to Celsius, that's around 30.6 degrees Celsius when calculated. And if we take a look right here, the calculations definitely coming to fruition. So keeping in mind that we're going to be getting at least 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures tomorrow, we should be getting anywhere from 30 to 31 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. If that's going to be a bit too hot for you guys, I'd like for you to know that it could be even hotter with the fact that there is going to be some power outages in these areas, and it could be your area. We're talking about a maintenance outage, all courtesy of the Jamaica Public Service, in store for First Brissett at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Hanover, as well as Lucy Old Road from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you live in those areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way on Monday. Also, we have outage advisories up for Jarrett Lane and Stokes Hall, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's in St. Thomas. And finally, we have outage advisories for Garden Close, Cherry Gardens in St. Andrew, anywhere from 1:30 to 5 p.m. So if you live or if you work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way. We know that the temperatures are going to be feeling even more ridiculous with the fact that we don't have the fan to cool us down or the AC as well. Either way, we have to try our very best to beat the heat with these tips. It stays here: to beat the heat, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Be cool, stay indoors, and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine, as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always stay hydrated. Put away the sugar drinks, drink water instead. If we take a look at the dry air map, we can still see the dry air is represented by what we see on the key on the bottom. We're talking about the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within all of that. And we can see a lot of the dry air across the Bahamas, the northwestern Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico right there. We can also see the dry air across the eastern Caribbean into the main development region right there to the west of Africa. Well, we have a lot of blues that represent moist air across the central to the western Caribbean, including Jamaica. Lots of moist air in our region, which explains that we're still getting a lot of afternoon rainfall. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Monday, we can see Jamaica right here, definitely in the clear, because all of the browns represent the Saharan dust should be across the main development region right here, as well as Africa. And we're glad that we're not seeing that vigorous of a plume. We know eventually the ridge of high pressure is going to be sending some of this dust from east to west, making it into portion of the eastern Caribbean, if not northeastern South America. But we're glad that we're not seeing the dark shades of browns that we know can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses. We're talking about asthma, sinusitis, and so forth. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that around Jamaica, we should be getting on those blues that represents 1 to 1.5 meter wave height. But we're starting to see some more purple seeping in across the western Caribbean, the southern Caribbean, the waters to the east of the Leeward and Windward Islands. So the purples we know represents up to 2 meter wave heights, and that's because the winds are going to be strong. We're talking about those yellows that represent up to 20 to 25 knot winds across the western Caribbean, the southern Caribbean, the waters to the east of the Leeward and Windward Islands. But the area right here around Jamaica getting on more greens than anything else. We're talking about 10 to 20 knots at most. And we can see the flow coming in from the east across the eastern Caribbean, curving southward into the southwestern Caribbean. More of a northeasterly flow across Cuba all the way down into Central America. Northeasterly flow between Cuba and Haiti right there all the way down into Jamaica, setting the stage for more moisture and rainfall for northern Jamaica, all courtesy of the relief rainfall that's to come. And we can see it all even better on the close-up of Jamaica. We can see that moist northeasterly flow, definitely stronger to the west of the island where we see the yellows. We're talking about 20 to 25 knot winds. And we can see that the least amount of wind should be across southern Jamaica, so it's definitely going to be feeling hotter across those spots with the lack of winds to cool us down. And we know wherever we have the least amount of winds, that's where all of the air is going to be piling up. So those low-level clouds will become mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. So look out for that afternoon rainfall if you're in maybe section of Kingston, St. Andrew, sections of St. Thomas, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth. But we might just get on some more nighttime into morning rainfall for section of northeastern Jamaica. We're talking about St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. We can definitely get in on some rainfall, even although the models are not forecasting that. And with the upper level winds coming in tomorrow from the southwest, it could definitely favor more of the rainfall across northern Jamaica for sure. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing the rainfall that's expected at around 5 a.m. And we see that there's consensus for some blues representing rainfall across eastern Portland, eastern St. Thomas. As a matter of fact, it was something similar to this that was shown yesterday. And we saw that we definitely had rainfall across the north as well. So we can rule out some rainfall for northern Jamaica too. Then by afternoon, this is 3 p.m. on Monday on the Euro, 3 p.m. on Monday on the GFS. And we see the consensus. Northern Jamaica definitely going to be getting on some amount of rainfall. Well, northeastern Jamaica, we're talking about St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. And we can also expect some rainfall into sections of some southern parishes. We're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and maybe even sections of St. Thomas. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast for sure. Even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps showing some kind of rainfall somewhere across Jamaica within the next 24 hours. This map from the Euro, well, this map from the GFS, and this map from the Euro are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3Z on Tuesday when calculated. That's all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. And we can see that rainfall is definitely going to be in store for the northeast. We're talking about St. Mary, Portland for sure. We see that there's consensus with that. GFS trying to incorporate southwestern Jamaica, not so much on the Euro. Either way, we're going to be getting it within the next 24 hours. And it's expected, especially for northeastern Jamaica during this time of year. And when we take a look at the actual rainfall that we usually receive throughout the year, in Kingston during the month of December, we usually receive close to 25 millimeters of rainfall. We know that at least an inch of rainfall. In Montego Bay, we usually receive close to 4 inches of rainfall. We know that's close to 100 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what specific parish, what your specific parish receives throughout the year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com and they'll show you that information. And you can use this nice little graphic here that I got from the US National Hurricane Center's website. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have the low-level flow of low-level patches of clouds moving from east to west in the eastern trade winds from the main development region into the Caribbean. We can see the clouds associated with the frontal system, the troughs across the western Caribbean into Cuba as well as the Bahamas right there. Lots of clouds, showers and thunderstorms for sure. And if we take a look at what was taking place today across the northeastern Caribbean, let us see what's happening now, then look at what happened earlier. As of right now, we can see some hit or miss isolated showers in and around Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis. Some rainfall to the north and northwest of Puerto Rico. Look at that huge burst of heavy rainfall to the northwest of Puerto Rico. Let's put these images into motion from about 1 p.m. today. You can definitely see that flow of the rainfall from the east. There was a low level rain bands for sure. Coming into section of Antigua and Barbuda, section of Anguilla, St. Bart, St. Kitts and Nevis. And some of this rainfall definitely was what was lashing portions of northwestern Puerto Rico. All of this rainfall that we saw to the northwest of Puerto Rico definitely came off of the island. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see some rainfall right there to the east of Dominica heading inwards. We can make out some rainfall to the east of Martinique as well. Not seeing much happening across St. Lucia, St. Vincent right now. But the Grenadines might have been getting some light rainfall. We don't see much happening across Grenada, but we do see some rain bands right there to the east of Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe some of that might make it into those areas later tonight, into tomorrow. If we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall to the southwest of the Cayman Islands like we saw earlier. We can also see that rainfall to the east of Nicaragua, some rainfall across Colombia, some rainfall to the north of the ABC Islands, some rainfall across section of northwestern Venezuela as well. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. And we can see the heaviest of the rainfall definitely going to be expected across northeastern Guatemala, northern Honduras, southern Belize, section of eastern Nicaragua, section of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia for sure. Lots of heavy rainfall, flash flooding could definitely take place. You can also see rainfall in store for eastern Cuba, southern Bahamas, section of Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, sections of Puerto Rico, the Leeward Islands. We're talking about Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, sections of St. Bart's, Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique. We can also see some rainfall in store for section of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as eastern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guyana. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.